Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do? Which is better? Season 2 of Cobra Kai provided us with a deeper insight into these two opposing karate styles, not only showcasing each style's effectiveness in combat, but also delving deeper into the philosophy and logic behind them. In this video, I will explore both of those philosophies to understand which is better. On the one hand, you have Cobra Kai, a style that emphasizes aggression and ruthlessness. The frequently touted motto, "No mercy," means no quarter is given to an opponent. If someone confronts you, they are the enemy. They are trying to hurt you, and you need to defend yourself first and foremost. Offense is not only the best defense, it is the only defense. Being merciful and trying to resolve a situation peacefully create an opening for your enemy to exploit. This is why you must strike first. You cannot allow your enemy the opportunity to attack first. After all, they don't deserve your mercy. Strength means you are strong enough to protect yourself and to win. Mercy, compassion, empathy, these are weaknesses. They are the emotions of victims who aren't strong enough to defend themselves.
A man confronts you, he's the enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy. What is the problem, Mr. Lawrence?
Then, on the other hand, you have Miyagi-Do, a style that emphasizes balance, not only in karate, but in life. Miyagi-Do does teach karate, of course, but first it establishes character by emphasizing commitment and work ethic. Miyagi-Do students learn to master their body as well as their mind. The first and foremost principle of Miyagi-Do, karate is for defense only, and the second principle, it's the same thing.
First, learn rule number 1.
The offensive elements of Miyagi-Do are only to be used as an absolute last resort, when there are no other options left. Sometimes it may seem like violence is the only path, but that's only because you aren't looking for a peaceful resolution. Where others would simply strike first out of anger or fear, Miyagi-Do provides you with the strength and security needed to seek the peaceful path, if there is one. Sometimes, strength means being strong enough not to fight. Not that every Miyagi-Do student always follows these principles. This is my interpretation of the ideal principles of Miyagi-Do.
Robby, what did you do?
One of the most intriguing aspects of the Cobra Kai series is its willingness to examine every side of every conflict and explore each point of view from all angles. Throughout both seasons, the series explored the strengths and weaknesses of both karate styles. In the beginning of Season 1, Cobra Kai gave Miguel and his friends the strength to fight back against those who bullied them. By the finale of Season 1, the Cobra Kai students were beginning to resemble the bullies they once fought against. This was not Johnny's intention, and in the premiere episode of Season 2, he attempted to nip this behavior in the bud. Johnny tried to pull Cobra Kai in a more, dare I say it, balanced direction.
The baddest badass is the one who beats his opponent when he's at his strongest. Not when his back is turned.
However, with Sensei John Kreese now in the picture, the Cobra Kai founder began to exert more and more influence, gradually pulling his dojo back to its roots. At first, we saw Kreese from Johnny's perspective, which is, he's an asshole who lacks any notion of honor. True to form, the Season 2 finale exposed the flip side of Johnny's perspective and presented us with an argument for Kreese's ruthless Cobra Kai philosophy. Earlier in Season 2, Johnny gave Miguel some advice.
I wasn't taught the difference between mercy and honor, and I paid the price for it.
In an attempt to honor this advice, Miguel let go of Robby's arm during the school brawl when he could have broken it. In response, Robby continued to attack Miguel, and this happened. In this situation, Kreese's no mercy philosophy was seemingly proved correct. If Miguel had followed Kreese's lessons rather than Johnny's advice, he would have broken Robby's arm and walked away from the fight. By the aftermath of the brawl, even Johnny's students agree with Kreese on this point. By the end of the season, Kreese managed to steal his dojo back from Johnny and bring its students into his form of pure, no mercy karate. As Season 1 did for Johnny Lawrence, Season 2 of Cobra Kai provided us with a deeper insight into John Kreese's reasoning and the logic behind his karate philosophy. Kreese's philosophy is pretty much summed up during the scene when he confronts Daniel at the Miyagi-Do dojo.
This isn't war.
Sure it is. War never ends. Peace is just the lull between battles.
Kreese views his karate from a very real, very serious war mentality. Although he was trained by Korean master Kim Sung-young, Kreese developed his personal karate style while a member of a Green Beret unit in the Vietnam War. In war, even the slightest mistake or misstep can result in your own or your fellow soldier's death. and therefore you must always put your own safety above that of your enemy. You need to strike first because you may not survive your enemy doing so. War is deadly serious, and it would be foolish to allow your enemy any advantage or opportunity to destroy you. At least, this is how I imagine Kreese sees it. Kreese adapted the lessons he learned in the Vietnam War to his karate style. For Kreese, the war never ended, there was only the lull between battles. The Cobra Kai karate style was founded by a soldier, but on the other hand, Miyagi-Do was also founded by a soldier. Kreese served in the Vietnam War, and Mr. Miyagi served as a member of the 442nd Regiment during World War II. If both Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do are karate styles founded by soldiers, it raises the question, why are their philosophies so utterly different? Exploring Miyagi's history may answer this question. Mr. Miyagi named his style Miyagi-Do during the events of the first Karate Kid film, so technically speaking, he is the founder of this style. However, Miyagi's karate is rooted in martial arts that go back centuries. Miyagi was taught karate by his father, who in turn was taught by his father, and so on.
All Miyagi ancestor, 400 year worth.
In fact, the origins of the Miyagi-Do style parallel the origins of karate itself. Many people use the term karate as a general term for all martial arts, but here I am using the term to refer to a specific martial arts style that originated on the island of Okinawa. Karate originated with the indigenous Okinawan martial arts called te, or hand, mixed with the influence of Chinese kung fu styles called tote, or Chinese hand, and finally adapted for mainland Japan and beyond called karate, or empty hand. Before Okinawa was a prefecture of Japan, it was an independent kingdom called Ryukyu. In 1609, the Shimazu clan of Satsuma, Japan invaded the Ryukyu kingdom, making it into a vassal state and enforcing a ban on all weaponry. Under these circumstances, Ryukyu martial artists developed their unarmed styles further. It is also likely when they began to emphasize the principle of defense only, as overt aggression against the Shimazu samurai would have resulted in a war that Ryukyu could not win. The fictional karate style of Miyagi-Do is rooted in the real-world history and philosophy of traditional Okinawan karate. Miyagi had these age-old principles instilled in him from a very young age. In fact, Miyagi's father taught his son so well that Miyagi chose to leave his father and his home. When obligated to face his former friend Sato in a duel to the death, Miyagi chose instead to leave his village forever, or at least he thought it was forever until Karate Kid 2. Miyagi understood that even in victory over Sato, he would lose. He knew this fight was unnecessary and avoidable, so he chose not to fight.
Never put passion before principle. Even if win, you lose.
However, when given the opportunity to serve his country in World War II, he didn't avoid the war in Europe. In fact, his unit, the 442nd, is the most decorated of its size in US military history. The unit achieved this status by taking on extremely dangerous missions. So Miyagi must have viewed the fight against the Axis powers as unavoidable. On Halloween night in 1984, Miyagi found Daniel being attacked by Cobra Kai students, and knew that Johnny would either kill or permanently cripple Daniel with a flying sidekick. In this situation, Miyagi saw no other option. He chose to intervene and defend his new friend. I should note that Miyagi displayed a characteristic during this fight that he would in all of his fights in the Karate Kid trilogy. That being, he never attacks first. He's usually the first to land a strike because his defense is amazing, but only after his opponent has initiated an attack. Defense only is a foundational principle of Miyagi's karate style, but it is not inflexible. This raises another question. That is, how does Miyagi know when to use force and when not to? To answer this simply, he makes a judgment based on experience. The truth is, no one system or principle will work in every situation. No mercy is the correct path sometimes, while other times it isn't. And likewise with showing mercy. As a lifelong practitioner of karate rooted in ancient wisdom, a soldier who experienced the brutality of war, and a human being who experienced great heartache and loss, Miyagi was able to assess each situation individually and make a judgment call based on his life experience. Even Miyagi would admit that his judgment wasn't always perfect.
Daniel-san, nobody perfect.
But often it was correct. Miyagi's karate philosophy allows for the balance necessary to weigh all the options, then make a calm, unclouded judgment. Unfortunately, Miyagi was not able to pass this aspect of his karate onto Daniel LaRusso completely. As a sensei, Daniel does want to honor Miyagi and do justice by his karate style, but Daniel lacks the experience and composure required to do so effectively. Daniel allows emotions like pride and anger to draw him toward the wrong path, where Miyagi would have recognized the error immediately. Daniel's flaws as a sensei were passed on to his students, the prime example being Robby Keene. Robby wasn't experienced enough in the true Miyagi-Do to control his pride and anger during the school brawl, or to realize that Miguel was offering him a truce, and the honorable path was to accept it. Miguel wasn't experienced enough to properly assess the situation, or understand that lowering his defenses was a stupid move. Daniel's lack of experience and composure prevents him from teaching Miyagi-Do at its highest level, but he may acquire the necessary experience in time. This is why, between the two karate styles, I believe Miyagi-Do has the superior philosophy. Kreese's style of Cobra Kai has its application in some situations, for example in war or a fight to the death, but even then, it's flawed. In modern warfare, no quarter is considered a war crime, and for good reason. Even if it wasn't, a soldier fights to protect their homeland, and how can they do that when they bring the war home with them? At some point, even a warrior needs to adopt a philosophy that allows for peace and a prosperous community. I won't pretend that violence is never justified or that it never solves problems. Sometimes it does, but often it doesn't. Violence begets violence, as the saying goes, and often the cycle doesn't end. Miyagi-Do is not perfect, especially when taught by Daniel LaRusso or practiced by Robby Keene, but Miyagi-Do at least allows for the possibility of a peaceful resolution when one is available. Ideally, Miyagi-Do keeps the door to peace open and trains its students to enter it when they can. Cobra Kai, on the other hand, completely shuts that door and locks it. At least Cobra Kai as taught by John Kreese.
I will never let my students lose. Even if they have to learn the hard way.
The Cobra Kai series has taken Johnny Lawrence on one hell of a journey, and who knows, Season 3 might see him siding more with Miyagi-Do than Cobra Kai. As I mentioned, I don't think Daniel LaRusso has yet achieved Miyagi's ideal. Maybe eventually, Johnny will be the one that achieves that ideal rather than Daniel. Johnny's version of Cobra Kai may even become the Miyagi-Do that Miyagi would have wanted, or at least that's my crazy-ass theory. What do you think? Which karate style is better, Cobra Kai or Miyagi-Do? And which do you think teaches the better philosophy and approach to life? What effect will Kreese's instruction have on the Cobra Kai students? And will Johnny be able to bring them back from this? I would love to read your thoughts on this in the comments below, as well as your predictions for Season 3 of Cobra Kai. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more Cobra Kai videos in the future, and check out my previous Cobra Kai videos linked on the screen. Thanks for watching, until next time.